A lot of people been trying to catch Dolph doing what he was doing for a long time, man. This is why people got to understand and realize that in Memphis, it was a whole lot of people that was really hating and envious and jealous of Dolph, man. One thing for sure is that it really shows now. Everybody who switched sides now is coming to the forefront because we see everything that's been done in the dark is finally coming to light, man. This is what Mia J was talking about when she said that when Rollo pulled out on his first day out, the first thing he talked about and put all online was the fact that he can't rock with CMG because he's got loyalty to Dolph. Like, he wasn't trying to pick between the beefs or nothing. He's not trying to push the beef forward. He's trying to really just squash it. But at the end of the day, he knows who he stands by and who he represents, man. This is the one thing that they was talking about. When Dolph was here, he was making sure that all of his people that was actually in business with him, doing a lot of things with him, they were taken care of. And this is why Rollo can't save everybody, man. Rollo can't save the people in CMG. He can't save him from anything like that, man. And one thing you got to understand is that Rollo just got out, and so he's still sending his condolences to Dolph family. He's still making sure that everybody's straight because it hasn't been nobody else that came around Memphis like that as big as him. You know, Gucci Mane came around for Big Scar, but what you got to realize is that Rollo was actually trying to undo a lot of the things that CMG did to set him up, man. This is why people got to pay attention to the fact that this is a whole revolving door situation, and it's going to continue to go on because now it was a whole war in Memphis going on for a whole 2 years, and a lot of people got hit up. You see how many people got hit up from both sides. You see the people who was taking care of the Dolph Memorial, Jason Hill, a lot of the guys at the mall and everything. You got to remember, Raven was trying to be a part of CMG this whole entire time. She manages artists and everything like that. So this is why she was trying to get 901 Trigger Trey to get signed by either Moneybagg Yo, blacyoungsta, or Yo Gotti. She said in that radio interview that she went on, they asked her the question, you know, what do you want to do? Why are you doing all this artist management stuff? She said she wanted to be managing for CMG and for Yo Gotti. That was her big plan on like catching a break for everything, right? And so this is what was going to make her stop working at the cookie shop. So this is why when they said Maurice was on the phone and Raven was on the phone, they was on the phone with Yo Gotti telling them that Dolph was in there, telling them the timing for everything to happen, because there's no way that these dudes ended up timing it so perfectly without actually knowing if Dolph was in there or not, how many people who was slacking and everything like that. It was almost as if they had the eyes and the ears on the inside. This whole entire thing was a setup. If you think Young Dolph got set up, put the Dolph emojis in the comment section. Make sure you like this video, because at the end of the day, for all the updates that's been coming out, you got to realize that this is a big one. The fact that they actually got the big fish out of this whole thing, they've been trying to get the head of the snake, and you know that the feds, they got a 99% success rate. They're always trying to go for the mob bosses, the mafia, the top shotters and everything like that, because when they really sit back and look at this and the grand jury indicts whoever they indict, is going to end up being the same people that they've been saying this whole entire time, because it's so many people that it was only so many people that was actually hating on Dolph, so they knew who to look to at first. This was a whole giveaway because of the fact that they gave up the fact they were beefing and put it in the songs and everything. So MPD was hearing it. They heard the diss track from Yo Gotti come out, and they knew to go and speak to his brother. This is why they put Big Jook in. They put him in the slammer for 1 or 2 days. They took him upstairs, got him to talk in the Shelby County and everything like that. And so this is when they seen Big Jook walking out with the Popeyes chicken in his hand, and they thought that he told, because anytime somebody tells, you know that they get some type of food. It's some type of food that you normally don't get on the inside. And this is the reason why people know who is the rats and who is not, because based off the fact that they get the special little privileges like having candy bars, and they bring in food from restaurants and other places like that to try to entice them and give an incentive to actually tell on each other. And this is a sad situation because Yo Gotti and Big Jook are brothers, and so at the end of the day, look at how the loyalty falls apart. You could be your own, you could be brothers, you could be artists, you could be from the same areas, from the same street and everything like that, but when it comes to push to shove, man, and people are looking at getting indicted for a whole entire thing, the Rico on Young Dolph, nobody wants to sit and do the time for it, so they all end up telling anyways. And this is the thing that's gonna break this whole case off the lid, because they had the guy sitting in the hot seat actually telling. Govan told this is how he got out on a $90K bond. Usually they don't give the mastermind, the guy who said he drew up the plan and the blueprint and the chalkboard inside of the Privé restaurant. Govan, they called him the mastermind. They don't let masterminds out on 90K bonds like that. That means he only paid $9,000 and he could easily got Big Jook to pull that out and go get him out. And this is the thing that people got to realize, is that the fact that a lot of them have been talking, this is why they can't be around each other or anything like that. They all co-defendants on this thing. And this is why Memphis is so close, that people know what's really going on. They know for a fact that Young Dolph got set up out there. And a lot of people, they've been seeing the fact that Yo Gotti, Moneybagg, Yo Black Youngsta, they might have had something to do with it, due to the fact that they was the main guys who's connected back to each and every single person, because Straight Drop is inside of the music videos of Moneybagg, Yo, and everything like that. He was on Keyglock side at first, but whole time they had people that infiltrated inside of PRE that was low-key on CMG side. There was missionaries, mercenaries, and everything for hire, hitmen for hire, like working on both sides. They didn't care who they had to hit up, or they had no loyalty to nobody. And you see that how Justin Johnson Straight Drop, he got out on his last thing. This is why Justin Johnson Straight Drop's lawyers don't want to represent him, because then that's going to be where CMG could actually pay for the lawyers, and that's going to get them wrapped up in the Rico and everything. So this is a big thing that people got to realize and look at the fact that at the end of the day, it's a big revolving door situation. And Young Dolph, man, he was out there and he was surrounded by at least 10 dudes. And this is the fact that they were following him the whole entire time. Why was all them people following Dolph like that? What did Dolph have inside of that chrome heart bag? Because people are saying that he had cashier's checks into the millions on that. Dolph came to collect rent and like the actual money from all of his businesses that was going on in Tennessee, not just Memphis, but in Nashville, Chattanooga, everything like that. So Dolph came with a big bag that had a lot of money in it, and people knew for a fact that he had something on him. And so they started planning and plotting and scheming and everything to try to get that at the same time. They waited until Young Dolph had all his bread with him and everything like that before he got set up. They knew he was coming back for a certain day. If they said they could book him for a video shoot at the cookie shop, then they knew he was going to come there with the money and everything and the jewelry. So they actually lured him in to get there and everything alleged for entertainment purposes. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that the justice for Dolph has got to come, because Dolph was actually serving the community good. He was making sure that people growing up seeing how a good role model was supposed to be. He was trying to change his whole life around and everything. He was moving legit. He was trying to be low-key and not show off too much. He had the car collection, but Young Dolph, he's a car connoisseur. He had a $12 million car collection that he left to his son Trey, and this is the reason why a lot of people think that Dolph was on the generational wealth path and the plan to make all his family super rich. And he was doing a lot of things to make sure people's bills got paid, to make sure people had businesses. He gave away Lamborghinis. He gave away a lot of stuff. Like he gave food trucks to Grove Hero. He taught Grove Hero how to do the whole food truck tour and everything, when Grove Hero actually is from Yo Gotti's old neighborhood where Big Jook was still living at. And when Grove Hero was trying to do his comedy, he said, hey, I know y'all. He was working with Yo Gotti and Big Jook at first. They was actually trying to help him. But when he said that, hey, he's doing a comedy show, he's going on stage with Dolph, they said, if you work with Dolph, we will never do anything for you ever again. And this is when Grove Hero, he chose Young Dolph's side, because Young Dolph was willing to give him an opportunity, even though he actually is from Big Jook and Yo Gotti's neighborhood in the same street and everything, and he was actually working with them the whole time. So then he completely switched over 100% to PRE and Young Dolph. And ever since that, Yo Gotti and Big Jook, they've been mad, because you see how Young Dolph turned up Grove Hero. He made him into a millionaire. He got him all the houses. Grove Hero learned from Dolph how to do the whole houses and everything, how to get multiple properties, how to do the giveaways. Dolph gave away a Lambo to Grove Hero. Then Grove Hero gave away that same Lambo to a whole nother person, another Dolph fan, just to keep this thing going and showing people in Memphis that you got to stick together and you got to work together to come up out of this. It's a lot of crab in a barrel mentality, and this is the sad situation of what's happening around in every hood in America. This thing happens to all people all the time, but they not famous to actually be known like this. They not actually rich and famous like that, so it's never reported. And people, man, this is a thing where people got to change, man. Young Dolph was trying to make it to where everybody could try to get along and get their paper and everything and put their differences to the side, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of haters on Memphis that was preying on Dolph's downfall. And you know, this is why the karma's coming back, because now everything's been pointing back to the same exact people that the karma's been attacking. And this is why the CMG shows, things keep happening there. They keep canceling them. The chains keep getting snatched. The fact that the feds is on their radar, they watching everything. They said it themselves, man. And you see what happened with Black Youngsta, his brother, and everything like that. At the end of the day, y'all gotta realize that this whole thing comes back to the fact that this karma from Young Dolph is actually coming back. It's real, and it's hitting a lot of the people, especially that's connected to Moneybagg Yo, Gotti, and Black Youngsta, Govon, and Big Jook.